Talking shit. Hi everybody, I'm DeAndre. Welcome to another edition of Talking Shit. I'm here with my co-host. He's co-hosting the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Todd.
Hello.
Hi Todd. Hi Todd.
Hi DeAndre.
How are you?
I'm doing really well, actually.
We're looking over here off camera because
that's
we're
right.
also live streaming on YouNow, which is where our shows are being edited from and then posted onto YouTube if we don't have any copyright infringements because of the music that I play on the show. So we're doing two yeah, they get mad at me.
Yeah,
They mute my whole show if I put music on that's not.
Yeah.
If somebody files a royalty claim against the music I play on the show, then YouTube will
Don't play
mute.
Prince.
They mute it.
Yeah, Prince gets mad.
Yeah, Prince is not on fucking YouTube.
No, you can't find him.
Why?
He's real, I don't know, he's uptight about it, I don't know.
He's fucking money hunk. He's a millionaire. Why should he worry about those little royal? Here, anyway. Todd, I love having you on. How you doing, Todd?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since.
It's been a while.
Were you here last year or this year? No.
Oh, wasn't the shit, this? Yeah, it was last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah, but I've seen you in this
So tell me what's going on here. You said that you didn't really want to talk about the elections.
We'll talk about the election a little bit.
Okay, do you think Donald Trump's going to win?
No, I think, well, it depends on who gets nominated for. The way it's looking, it's going to be Sanders and Trump.
You think Sanders is going to beat Hillary Clinton?
He's ahead in the poll. I mean, he's
ahead
now.
in Iowa, and
Which
we got about 10. Or is it Idaho or Iowa? I'll tell you, the
it's
Clinton
Iowa
machine.
and New Hampshire.
Well, the Clinton machine is going to find out that he slept with a hoa. I mean, they're feisty people when they think they're going to lose.
Well, this is what I'm okay. So this will tie in with the Edward Bernays guy. Our country is full of shit. I mean, everybody. I mean,
That's what I love.
and
I love.
we're as people we're figuring that out, I think. And Hillary is is firmly entrenched in the bullshit.
Right.
And there's no difference. You could have Hillary on the Republican debate.
It wouldn't matter.
And she'd fit right in with those people. I mean, her voting record speaks for itself in the Senate, and the shit that she did as Secretary of State is horrendous. But Hillary should be in prison with the rest of them for war crimes, in my opinion. Yeah. And that's part of it too. Is the okay? We all that they disguise shit, and I mean that's a soft way of saying it. They bullshit us by changing language, right? Instead of saying, 10 men, 30 women, and 500 children died last week in Iraq due to American bombs,
Right.
Or which we're real good at bombing people, especially if you're brown.
Right.
And instead of saying that, they say, this many insurgents have been killed, and nobody thinks about that's just an automatic disconnect. You don't know what fucking insurgent means.
Right.
Nobody knows what that word means. An insurgent is somebody who's actively fighting the government in a number of different ways. And they don't have to be violent.
Right.
And those little kids that are getting blown into little pieces are not insurgents. They're not anything like an insurgent. We're not killing. Okay, we're fighting in Iraq. We're fighting in Syria. We're fighting in Afghanistan and a number of other places.
Right.
Show me what a fucking. When was the last time you saw an Iraqi military uniform?
I don't know.
What do they even look like?
I don't even know what it is.
Because we're not killing military people. We're killing Iraqis.
And my thing is that you're never going to bomb enough of them for them to like us. And that's what I think. And that's what I think is going on. It's like they try to kill as many as they can to sort of get some kind of an attitude from these people that's all loving and kosher, like let's say the British, or even the people that hate us behind our back, but out front, they tend to be our allies. And allies to me is just a word for how are we going to split up the shit after we kill the fuckers we take it from.
Right.
I really...
Well, no, that's look how they redrew the map after World War I. They did the same thing after World War II. They created the problem we have in the Middle East at that time. They continue to the all-time bullshit story of ever. I mean, this is directly from George Carlin too. Is religion.
Right.
There's an invisible guy. And this guy, I'm trying to remember George Carlin said about this, but it's true. The invisible guy in the sky lives in the sky, watches everything you do every second of every day. He has a list of 10 things he doesn't want you to do, which don't include rape or slavery.
Or stealing people's fucking...
Yeah. And if you violate those rules, you get to go to hell for all eternity, and he loves you.
Right.
And he needs money.
Right.
And,
it just sort of seems man-made to me, doesn't it?
It's a bunch of shit that people made up, you know, and it's currently heavily being used. I mean, it's an old school magical system that they use. I mean, you look at the Catholic Church and it's full of magic and bullshit. It's like that's I use that one because that's the one I'm most familiar with. And they you drink this wine and you eat this little cracker and it actually turns into that's a major bone of contention. If you don't buy into that, you're not really a Catholic. If you don't fucking believe that shit that you took in, it turns into the blood and body of Christ. Come on, what? Are you serious? Do you really believe that shit? I had a hard time with that when I was a kid.
Well, it's supposed to be symbolism, like God. This is what trips me out too. Is like God needs all of these symbols and like this kabuki theater.
Yeah,
to be
weird
the most
hats
powerful.
And the sticks and the incense and the fucking all of that. I mean, come on.
Like, when is God like this weird ass fucking, like the witch that kidnaps Hansel and Gretel or something? I don't understand.
But that's the other point. Is it's all of it's stolen. Every single bit of it. None of it is something that they came up with. They just this seems to work pretty good with these assholes, so we're going to do it. We'll incorporate that in. That's what they did. And God told us this a long time ago. We're just we're doing this now though.
That's another thing. It just seems like it sort of changes based on what people are willing to kind of run after.
Yeah.
And it's a complete. And I mean, I like to look at the results that people are getting from this shit. I mean, you do look at slavery, and it did start for the Europeans. I mean, the blacks were enslaving each other before the Europeans showed up. Like, they think they have the new idea on slavery. But my point is, like, it started with colonization. They go in. They're going to set up these, same thing they did to the indigenous people in America. They come, they set up these missions, and the mission is to get you to fucking give them permission to take your shit.
Well, we soften up the language. I have a perfect example of that. So I have these nerd friends, and they're basically, have supposedly enlightened ideals and stuff, and they play these fucking board games, and every once in a while I'll go over there just because whatever, I feel obligated. And they're playing this game called Puerto Rico, right? And it's a board game, and it's popular among these nerds, right? And it's the mechanics of it are all weird, but you're basically a white guy from Europe that then they switch jobs. One turn you're the governor, and the next turn you're the whatever, some other big job, and it's based around you own land, and you're farming this land, and you need settlers. They call them settlers to fucking farm these lands, and they're little. Even the pieces are little brown fucking round things. And I'm like, what? Okay, so give me some more of the niggers over there. I need some more of those. And And then people get mad. And
Right.
even if you call it slave, I'm like, okay, I need some more slaves on this farm.
Right.
And they're like, it's not slaves, it's settlers. Okay, well, let's look at the actual history of this. And they're not, there's a reason they made these brown.
Right,
you know, and it's, that's how we do, okay, settlers, forced settlers, whatever you want to call them. But it's not a new thing.
It's not.
That they did that. That's an old fucking thing. And the fact is, it's still fucking going on today, like in a bad way.
It is in a bad way. I mean, and I'll take it to the next power. Like, if you go to like a certain particular store, I'm not gonna mention names. I don't want to get sued. But if you go to a store in one neighborhood, it's the same exact company, and you go to the fruit and vegetable section, the quality of the merchandise is totally different. I swear to God. I know because I travel around a lot in certain areas. And if you go to one area where the settlers are
ethnic food. The ethnic aisle, is that what you're talking about?
Just all of the shit.
The urban aisle.
It's just really weird to see the blatant disrespect for people who are intelligent. People who can think for themselves. Somehow,
well, that's against their interests. They don't want that.
So tell me about this guy. Be specific. Who is Ed Bernays?
Bernays. I don't know if that's the correct spelling. I've only
I don't care. I didn't spell it
read
right
about
either.
it. And okay, this is a guy who's had a huge effect on our culture. He still has an effect on me today. And he was Sigmund Freud's cousin. He's from Austria. Mm-hmm. First thing he did was help the Nazis out, figuring out their method of propaganda.
Okay.
And he did that very well. And then he was real popular amongst the corporations here because he had this method. He took what Freud, his cousin, was figuring out, that people are basically the same, and we're hardwired this same way, and we all have the same fears and the same desires, which fear and desire are very closely connected.
Yeah.
And he was very good at figuring out how to exploit these things. And he talked about democracy shouldn't be allowed to go just on its own, willy-nilly, because these people are too stupid to fucking think for themselves.
Right.
And we need to control them for our own profit. And he talked about the invisible government that actually, and he helped set this up. He helped make this a thing that continues to this day. This invisible government that actually controls what's going on.
Right.
By controlling the people, which also is not an old idea. That's what religion is for.
All about, yeah.
Yeah, and politics.
Right.
And politics can take many different forms, just like religion can. And sometimes religion is the politics.
Right.
And usually politics is treated as a religion.
Absolutely.
That you don't think about it, you feel about it. It's the same thing. It's just like they play on your fears, and if you don't have any, they'll be happy to give you some by showing you a picture of a girl with big tits.
Right.
And that makes everybody afraid. That's also I'm somehow inadequate because of these jugs.
These big jugs.
Yeah, and that legacy is what is fueling our society
and
right
you
now.
believe commercialism, and I was thinking about it too. Like, remember when the gas prices in our country had gone up to like $5 a gallon, and we were like, God, what are they doing with all this money? And then the next thing you know, even at the cheapest gas stations in our city, there's these fucking big screen TVs. Who the fuck needs a big screen TV while they're pumping gas? But this is the kind of extra cash that we get sucked into the system you're describing, and we're stimulated and we're not thinking. And we have substituted being stimulated for thinking about how we're being manipulated. that's subcontracted now. No longer do you get to use your mind and try to find out what the truth is. You just get to be stimulated and you get to feel a certain way, and then that's how they get their sway over you. And it's all over the fucking place. It's with the music. It's even with this thing too. Like sometimes you don't have half your clothes on. You have this beautiful hair. You're a person that doesn't really need anything, but you act like you got everything kind of thing. Then you're liked. People fan you. They blow you up. But if you're like a guy that works or just has some history or life you want to share, then you're stupid and you don't stimulate anybody. Well, your tits aren't big enough.
Right. Well, I mean, this stuff isn't important. Shit
right.
is not important. You
right.
need, I mean, there's a good school of thought that says that humans aren't really from this planet.
No.
Because we're not comfortable here.
Right.
We need all this. We need a house, and we need why aren't we just outside right now, fucking hanging out?
Right.
Because it's too cold, or it's too hot, or
right.
the air's blowing on us weird, or something.
Yeah,
we
can't. Fucking.
We don't like it here. It's not.
Have you ever thought about it? This is
it.
the only planet that we know for sure.
Right.
For sure, that we have been able to survive on. But we treat it the worst in all the other planets in the universe.
Yeah.
This is the planet we treat the most fucked up as this. And then we rationalize
it.
Well, we live
we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we would treat everywhere fucked up.
Yeah, everywhere we go.
Yeah.
We're right out of time. I gotta pick my friend up from work. Give me your final thought on where we're headed as a culture, as a society. Just a little peek into where your consciousness is until we meet again. Where do you think we'll be, let's say, after the election? Where do you think we're going to, what do you predict?
Well, I think that there's a good chance of capitalism and this fucking nihilistic, insane culture that we live in completely breaking down at some point. And if our systems break down, then our society breaks down. I mean, you look at Canada and France are both having severe economic problems right now, and I really think that that's not a planned thing like our own economic downturn was.
Right.
And we're in trouble. And I think that there's some save the planet, not going to happen. We don't have any ability or way to save the planet. And it's not the planet that needs to get saved. The planet's still going to be here long after we're gone. It's us. We're going. We're leaving. We're on our way out right now unless we do. We have to change ourselves. I'm not going to change DeAndre. I'm not going to change Hillary fucking stupid Clinton. It's only Todd is the only person I can change.
The individual.
Yeah.
The individual. Todd's right, Ian. I say that we listen, and I say that we learn, and I say that we change individually. Because a lot of times I think people use change as a cop-out to not look at themselves. Because when I change, I'm not changed. Because I'm all out here. Just like religion, I think. I'm disturbed by organized religion for one reason and one reason only. There's been these really weird results of stuff as a result of it. It just really has been kind of fucked up. It really has not really added up to
what religion does is put you in a box because you don't fit in a hole.
Right.
But that box does, and it puts you in this box and it restricts you from being who you really are.
Right.
And what you have the potential to be. They take your actual spirituality away and tell you what it is with all these made up fucking stories that have been around for fucking 10,000 years, and it disconnects you from
what the first page of the Bible, the forward of the Bible says in short, and I bullshit you not. It basically describes it as old campfire stories that have been passed down. That's what the forward of
that is what it is.
That's all we have for now. I'm DeAndre. We're signing off. Let's thank Todd again for being here, and I'll see you next time.